Still feeling really crummy, but not as bad as I have been the past couple days. And I'm not going to do an email today. Something happened to me pretty much about an hour ago that I felt I needed to share because it was pretty intense. Now, I live in a decent sized community, a decent sized city in Toms River. Three high school. It's a pretty big place. So I was on one of the main roads in my town and stopped at a convenience store to get lunch and bring it to the office. And when I walked in, heading into the convenience store, there was a man outside. I don't know if he was panhandling or whatever, but he had one of those clear plastic bags you get from the hospital. Okay, so that grabbed my attention because I know there's a hospital right where this convenience store is, a hospital that I've been to. So I looked at his face, recognized him immediately. Took the breath out of my chest because it was somebody that I was in a short-term care mental hospital with when I first got clean in 2009. So this person had a major impact on me deciding that it was time for me to change my life. Okay, when I was in that short-term care mental health facility, because I was on suicide watch and all kinds of stuff. So I walk in the convenience store, freaking out a little bit, and I order my food and everything, and I walk out, and I got the balls to go up to him, which I was just gonna walk to my car, with the plastic bag bothering me. So I went up to him and said, "Hey, do you remember me?" He had no idea who I was, and I told him that, like, where I knew him from, and not to get into too much detail, where I knew him from, and was asking how he was doing. And he didn't really want to talk about how he was doing. I knew how he was doing. Okay, he was still in that life. And he interrupted me and asked me for money. So, I mean, I know the game. I know how it is. I know how it is to struggle. So, I wasn't going to push anything on him. I just said that I have something better for you than money. And I went to my car, and I have Free From Hell business cards with, like the website on it, because everything's free. And I gave him one, and I said, if you ever need anything, give me a call. It's got my phone number on there. And he said, "Yeah, this is great, but do you have any money?" And I don't know. It was kind of like a moment for me where you want to help somebody so bad. Like, I try to help a lot of people. I really do. And sometimes you can't. And I try not to let it bother me too much, because if you get too emotionally invested in this, which I learned the first year I was doing videos and everything, it starts to hurt your health, and it starts to hurt your health. Okay, and hurts relationships, because you wonder why things happen the way they do. But you have to understand. I have to keep reminding myself that this guy's still alive. And when we were in there together in 2009, he was in a really bad spot. He was much worse off than I was. So the fact that he's still alive says to me that he still has a shot. He's luckier than hell to be there. And obviously, I didn't play that much of a role in his life, because he didn't remember who the hell I was. But he made a huge impact on me, and I gave him the card. He said, "This is all well and good, but do you have any money?" And I just said, just use the card if you ever need it, that kind of thing. And he just, shrugged me off. And I walked back to my car, and I immediately texted my wife and my mother. I told my wife just because briefly. I don't get into too much detail about the things I do here, because I like to keep things private and keep that separated from my family, because I don't want to put any of that burden on my wife, because it's a lot of emotional burden. So I did contact my mother because she works in the healthcare industry, and she was a nurse for over 30-something years, 35 years, something like that, and still works in the hospital, but not as a nurse right now. And she knew exactly who I was talking about, because the guy played a major role for me. And when I first got clean, I explained to my mom about this guy, who was my age, a lot of similarities, but he was in a much worse spot than me, and he still didn't want to get clean. And the fact that I saw him, over 6 years later, and it's still not in, he's not there yet. It shows you how strong addiction is. I mean, it's scary and fascinating at the same time. So, I don't know. It really blew me away. And I felt like I was going to not say anything and just go about what I usually do, videos and everything, and the emails. But this was very impactful for me, okay? Because, you just can't get through to everybody, and then just everybody's not ready to do, not everybody's ready to get clean at that time. I don't know, I'm rambling now because it's still just crazy to me. But I felt like I should share it with you guys. So if you'd like to share your story, you can email me at ryan@comsupport.com. In the subject line, put YouTube story and my story. Let me know if you want to use your first or last name or stay anonymous. Continue watching. And the moral of the story is that the beast is strong, and it's always out there. And some people get it and some people don't, and you can't ever lose hope, though, right? So check out some more videos. Thanks.